Detroit at 4 starts now.
Thanks for joining us for CBS News Detroit at 4. I'm Terrence Friday. We're going to get a look at the forecast after that severe weather we experienced last night. And right now, Karen, we can hear some rain coming down on top of our studio.
That's right, Terrence. The rain is moving through the area. You can see that even on our Next Weather Tower Cam. It just got a little bit more gray on the tower cam, but you can see kind of the splotches. That's the rain falling down as well. So we're seeing that rain move through the area, and you can see that on Doppler radar. We are seeing a little bit of this heavier patch here that is moving just towards Waterford and White Lake and through Highland too. So we are still seeing those rain showers continuing throughout this afternoon, and still some thunderstorms too. The good news is we are not going to have severe weather. Here's a look at some of the storm reports in terms of our wind gusts from yesterday. We had quite a few power outages and trees and limbs down too. Wind gusts anywhere from about 65 miles per hour in Grosse Pointe to 41 miles per hour in Port Huron. Temperatures currently at this hour around the area are in the 60s and 70s. We are seeing quite a bit of rain moving through Lapeer, Howell, Ann Arbor, even Mount Clemens and Detroit. If you're not seeing rain, you're seeing cloudy conditions, and we are going to continue to see those rain showers still throughout the next few hours as temperatures are going to drop through the 70s. There is a chance for rain still this evening. I'll talk about your fireworks forecast for this evening and when the next chance we have for dry conditions in our 7-day forecast coming up in your next weather forecast.
Thanks, Karen. Those strong storms last night knocked power out to thousands across Metro Detroit, many of them still in the dark. At last check, more than 14,000 DTE customers don't have power in Wayne County. In Macomb, 10,846. More than 18,000 are still without power in Oakland County, and in Monroe County, less than 1,000. Washtenaw County now reporting nearly 10,000 customers in the dark, and in Livingston County, there are more than 700. Meanwhile, more than 2,800 flights across the U.S. were delayed or canceled today as a result of the severe weather. This according to data from FlightAware. United Airlines was faring the worst with about 6% of its flights canceled and another 4% delayed. Delta was not far behind. Today's forecast also looks tough for travelers with more than 100 million people under the threat of severe weather storms, mainly in the mid-Atlantic. Now over to Dearborn, where residents were hit hard by that severe weather. Some city officials say it looks like a tornado ripped through those neighborhoods. Trees were uprooted in one area, and one even fell on top of a house next to a Dearborn high school. Gino Vici joins us from Cherry Hill and Outer Drive with more on the city's cleanup efforts now after last night's storms.
This is one of the hardest hit areas. A tree fell on top of the house, causing lots of damage. Thankfully, no one was inside.
The wall inside is cracked. The roof is gone. There's wooden studs all over the floor as well. It's really a mess.
Hussein Murtada says this massive tree fell from the Dearborn High School property right onto his parents' home during last night's storm, crushing the roof and landing on a car in the driveway. Dearborn was one of the hardest hit areas.
This is a very bad area. This is Dearborn Public Schools property. They have several trees that fell on houses.
Tim Hawkins, the director of Public Works, says the storm ripped through the city quickly, caused lots of damage in a short time.
And it took down more than 50 trees. It put about 5 to 7 in our roadways that we cleared up.
As the cleanup continues, the city says it's doing its best to help its residents.
Any tree branches you find in your yard, if you could get them out curbside, we're continually driving through the neighborhoods, picking them up.
So we actually we have numerous lines throughout the city that are down.
And as that cleanup continues, the city's emergency manager, Jim Rogers, is urging residents to use caution and watch out for down power lines.
Never approach a line that you think that's down, because it may be charged even though it's not arcing or hissing or anything like that. So always assume that a line might be charged.
Meanwhile, Murtada says he hopes once the tree is removed, the Dearborn School District or the city can do something to help out his family.
And actually helps us out with this mess, with this cleanup, and with any damages and inconvenience.
In Dearborn, Gino Vici, CBS News, Detroit.
The stormy weather also left some damage at the Detroit Golf Club just days before the start of the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Video from this morning shows massive trees uprooted, fences damaged, and debris scattering the golf course. You can also see a car was crushed by a tree. Crews were out there on the course cleaning up after the storm today. The course was closed to the public. Those practice facilities and the clubhouse opened up for PGA Tour players at noon. The first round of the Rocket Mortgage Classic tees off on Thursday, and we'll have coverage both over the air and on CBSDetroit.com. An Alabama family is heartbroken over the loss of 30-year-old Austin Chappell. Chappell was a DT contractor who was electrocuted over the weekend. His family flew to Detroit from Alabama and spoke with us about Austin. They say he was passionate about his work and a dedicated lineman who traveled across the country working to restore people's power. His dad, Jeff Chappell, says that he was married for over a year and has a 10-year-old daughter. He says he doesn't know how Austin came into contact with those live wires, but he believes his son died doing what he loved.
He was what you would want your son to turn out like. He's a hard worker. I mean, he's 600 or 700 miles from home trying to help people get their power turned back on. He's doing a very dangerous job.
DTE also sent us a statement about the incident saying in part, quote, "We send our love and support to his family and loved ones." Our Ray Strickland is going to have more on this story for you coming up starting on CBS News Detroit at 5. Happening tonight, despite rain in the forecast, the show must go on. One of the biggest fireworks shows is going to be happening tonight in the Motor City. The 2023 Ford Fireworks Show will light up the sky starting at 10 o'clock. Detroit police are expecting 15,000 to 20,000 people to pack Hart Plaza for the riverfront view of the show. They're recommending that people do show up early to get through security. No weapons will be allowed into the perimeter. At 6 p.m., the lodge will close at Jefferson, and the same goes for southbound 375. That traffic won't be able to exit towards Jefferson.
We want families to be able to come down and enjoy a great evening of fireworks and all the other things that come with it. So we just ask that if you're going to come down, come with this sense of enjoyment. Let's not come down here to cause issues or concerns that would have us having to work in a different capacity.
Drivers actually started lining up as early as 5 this morning to be amongst the first to grab a good spot to watch the fireworks show at Belle Isle. Those cars won't be allowed in once it reaches capacity. You can text GEM 80888 to get more updates on when the island is full.